Hi viewers, welcome to the 19th episode of the limited video series of literary and critical conversations. Friends, today we have with us the co-founder of TAG TV. Haleema Sadia ji is a Canadian broadcaster and TV anchor. She has conducted more than 200 interviews of Canadian politicians, artists, writers and community activists. She is the co-founder of TAG TV. It's pleasure to have you with us today, Haleema ji.
It's likewise.
Setu extends a warm welcome to you on this occasion.
Thank you very much.
Well, at the outset, please share with us some interesting nuggets of your early life.
I was the youngest among my all siblings. So you know how in a South Asian family the youngest child is always taken extra.
Most doted upon.
Yes, and never learning anything because it's being carried by all the elder siblings and being the most mischievous, curious, like I would say the cats, the kittens. The very strong point has always been that the advantage, I would say, for being the youngest was always that I was very keen observant of what's going on with all my siblings' life. So I was that kind of observer from the very beginning of my life. And still I feel like that I'm carrying from then till now, that I like to observe things, and that's makes me who I am today. I have taken a lot of love from a lot of people, and I have given a lot of love to a lot of people, community members and people around the world, whoever, wherever we interacted.
Great. So you were the youngest and you were the most pampered child.
Yes.
But very sharp and brilliant.
That
makes, yeah, I can see you. You are there before my eyes, and lot of work you have been doing all through. So that justifies whatever you have said just now. How did you come to choose TV journalism as a profession?
It's very interesting. Since my journey with a guy who had always been a very prominently deep thinker and a writer and observer, who I got married in my very early life. So I always say that actually I was literally born after I got married because I was...
You were reborn.
I was reborn and I was born because those are the times like your end of teenager, getting into 2 digits and all that makes you feel like you're really getting matured into the life, and you're starting up to do things, many things you want to do by yourself in life.
True.
So I was very lucky that I got married to a guy who was very strong in his ideas and very strong-headed. And I got the opportunity of being around me, the people who were ideologically being very active in political scenario and in writings. So after moving in a lot of different places of the world, we finally reside in Canada. After the making the family, children, all that, we were at the point of starting a life where we had to decide that do we want to have individual careers or should we support each other to go and fall into one profession where we can help each other and grow together. I would say, if you say the growth part, I was the one. Women is always the one who has to alter herself to go into the things.
Yeah.
So finally, I would say that around, if you see, like 13 years back, we started with TAG TV, the project which was the reason for us to be together. And I would say that there are certain things in our life which are meant to be the way they are usually done. So TAG TV was an opportunity where he was actually, because of his strong political opinions, he was having very much difficulty with the media and people who he has been working with. So one day we were sitting at home and discussing things, and he said, you know what, I'm trying to establish my own media. I have decided that I'm not going to stop, I'm not going to give up, because I feel like people need these kind of conversations which we do. These are tough questions, but somebody has to ask them and somebody has to do that. So I said, okay, and he said, you can join me if you want to. और इस पे मैं उर्दू का शेर पढ़ूंगी, इन्हीं पत्थरों पर चलकर आ सको तो चले आना, मेरे घर के रास्ते में कोई कहकशां नहीं है. So I was on board.
Wonderful.
I decided to be with him, and that was like 24/7 to being together. It's like what I did was I had to go through a lot of, I would say, I watched a lot of conversations, blogs, that how husband and wife as co-workers work together in the different fields of work they do, because it's a very different challenging role that you are husband and wife, but you're not husband and wife at your workplace. And he has very high standards of having the journalistic and TV things, because he was into it continuously for a long time. While I was, from my back home, I was a teacher, school teacher, because of the kids and being with them. So it was a complete change in my career, though it was not for the first time the change was. I had quite a few changes in my career since we moved to Canada. So finally, we were together in TAG TV, and from there, I would say the roller coaster of learning and doing things started. And today, I can say after 13 years that this roller coaster was worth going on, because in the end of the day, the journey matters. The memories you make, the learning you do, the unlearning you do, those are the things which nurture you.
And the end product matters more.
I
so
don't
where
know
you
it's
have
the end.
reached.
I never say that this is the end, because life is such that
Of
nothing
course,
is
it's a
end.
journey. And
It's a journey.
but
It's-
when you look back, you feel fulfilled, you feel satisfied that you have achieved a lot.
I feel very satisfied that, as I said, the roller coaster ride, which is still the roller coaster ride.
Okay.
It's not easy being a co-worker and being in relationship, so close relationship, and being the twin of your husband, because socially also it's very fundamentally people are not very used to of these kind of things. And every place where you go professionally, you have to have the reason that what is your objective of being like that. But the thing was, I still remember once I was covering a very big convention of Liberal Party, which was with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the other guy, and they were I was among all those mainstream media, and I was one of the only female camera person there who was standing in the crew of media and having that conversation recorded. So
Oh, kudos to you.
yeah, I enjoyed it a lot actually also.
Very
Yes,
challenging. Yeah.
There are very there are a lot of females from South Asian community who had been there, but I was the one who was behind the camera at that time in that place. So I felt very, very proud at that moment, because I felt like it's challenging, it's very challenging, but it's very interesting also that I had to start to learn everything.
Yes.
And I learned everything, from
Correct.
being behind the camera to the front of the camera, being like at home also, being in office also. So it was very interesting. And if you say that how my journalistic ride started actually was from photojournalism.
I see.
I always take the credit with myself if I say because I still remember that, because we were always engaged into literary activities, a lot of literary activities. We had quite a few forums, Punjabi Forum, Urdu, Halkar Babe Zauq. Then we had the foundation of anti-Semitic. So there were so many things which we were doing otherwise also with my other job before joining TAC TV, because TAC TV was basically initiated by both of us together. This was our project which was done by us together. Before that, I was doing different things, but we were combined into all those conversational things. So the point is that I used to love to take pictures as a memory, because I felt like I read a short story, which was about a lady who was sitting in her late age and going through her photo file. And she said that how interesting it is to see myself at that point. And then she narrates that how she actually envisions that time zone where that picture was taken.
Yeah.
So that was
You are transported to that age, to that era, when you look at the photographs.
Yes. So I decided to pick up the camera and start working with taking the pictures of all those events which were happening with us in our literature things, like the literary diasporas. So and then I still remember me and Tahir were sitting and he was saying, okay, now it's serious. So you're not going to put all the pictures just like that. So let's start doing it like a proper professional way. So there I learned that how photojournalism goes. So I always say, if you see my career, if you see that how I started with all that, that was the first step. It was very mini step. Taking a small, I still remember that camera. At that time, the cameras were not that popular. And they were very like old.
They were not that advanced too.
Yes. So from there, that day onward, my journalistic journey along with Tahir started.
Great. Wonderful. So nice to hear all of this from you. You are a bold, enterprising woman who has reached so many milestones, and still there are many ahead.
Yes, of course.
Well, what challenges are faced by the female presenters and TV journalists here and elsewhere? Any glass ceilings? Other patriarchal barriers at work in a male-oriented workplace, if you have encountered any?
Yes, of course. In working here and having our own TV channel, production house, we had a lot of people coming in and going out, and especially the male ones. And because I was a host, so we used to go a lot to cover the community events. So there was a time when I was everywhere to conduct the interviews. So when we hired some of the male camera people, it was very challenging, because the youngsters think differently. And the male who are journalistically and media-wise trained in South Asia, they behave entirely differently. And it takes a while for them and yourself also to understand that how to work in a new environment differently, first. Second, in Canadian society even, we think that women are apparently very strong and have all the liberties. Not every layer of society is very liberated, and they are very outgoing in fields like media fields especially. And that's why I observed the Me Too movement also during that time. But for me, it was very fortunate that we were the owner of the media house, and a lot of struggle was with my own husband, with my own partner who was my CEO, and it took me a while to understand that there is always in a corporate system, there is always a CEO, and he is the one. It's not male or female. It's based on abilities, that who can perform what and how well. That counts in the end of the day. And I needed to learn this road because he was very experienced guy in that field, and I was the one who was very new into that. And on the top of it, I needed to learn things. So I had quite a few experiences of I think where I just gave up and I said, okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna do it. And then I had to restart, rejuvenate, redo.
Yeah.
But I would say that I was one of the luckiest people that I could manage these kind of things. But yes, as a whole, especially being a Canadian citizen, I realize that for women, this front is quite challenging, quite difficult. But again, I always believe in, it doesn't matter that it's a man or a woman. In the end of the day, it depends upon the capability of how good you are in the role you're playing. That stands out in the long term.
Well, wonderful. So I have seen that you have been into several social areas. You cover programs which have social themes. So what are your views on the Canadian economy? Would you like to express yourself on it?
I'm not an economist. And I'm a TV host, right? And I'm a broadcaster, so I come across a lot of issues which are happening. Economic condition of Canada is one of those. My expertise are not in this field, but yes, Canada is connected globally with whatever the rest of the world is going through. We are also going through that.
Can TV journalism be deployed to make significant changes and interventions?
Of course. Media is a very powerful tool. It has always been, and it will always be, regardless of the technological changes and method of communication. Media is very powerful. It's with its goods and bads, and with the technical advancement also. It is very difficult field now, as we can see, but still it's very powerful.
That's true. So, can we have your views on female new arrivals? There are many immigrants coming to Canada since last few years. So, what's your take on that? The young immigrants from South Asia.
I would say that I'm not very expert in this field, but I have my opinion, since I have experience of observing and dealing with a lot of activists who are doing a lot of work in this field. I have done a lot of shows with those who are working with the women care sections, and they are doing abused women issues. They are dealing with it directly. I would say that the young girls have a lot of potential of changing, but immigration has always been a very difficult point, especially South Asians' mindset is again a very big issue. And we depends upon which age we migrate.
Yes.
That
And you
makes a
have
huge
worked
difference.
very closely with mental health professionals.
Yes.
So
All
you
those
can
people who-
share
yeah.
that too.
Yeah. I would say that these are all connected things. So to be able to adjust into a new situation, new home, cultural shock, change of atmosphere, and then mindset of how we are grown up, and then all of a sudden it's just like a tree is taken from one land and is being planted into another.
Yes.
So similarly goes with humans, with women. with the young girls. But I always say that the most dominant factor is they get depressed. Depression is a very big element because of the change of the social atmosphere. But I'm very hopeful that because our I would say our system is so strong, it is working massively with all its challenges and all its drawbacks. It's working massively to adjust the new immigrants well.
Yeah. One thing heartening about the Canadian atmosphere here is that it is quite safe, and women too feel safe at nights when they go out for work in different shifts. So this is something quite heartening and unlike other South Asian countries.
It's very empowering also, but it's very disturbing also, because those families which are not used to of women seeing women as a powerful in a very powerful role, usually what happens that a lot of women start claiming for their rights which they are not prepared for. Men take it that, oh, she should be still doing everything as she used to do in back home. So that empowerment helped the women to stand and do a lot of things, but that liberation does not make a lot of families very happy, because they, as I said, the mindset is the key behind everything.
Your message to women?
My message is that keep doing what you like to do, keep working, never give up. You're stronger than you think of. And when people talk about women empowerment, women don't need empowerment, they are already empowered. If they can give a birth, they can do everything.
Thank you for your inspirational words to the young women, and you have really inspired them. Thanks for your precious time. Thanks for your enlightening message and narration. Thanks, viewers. In the next episode, we'll be back again with yet another important guest with us. Till then, bye-bye.